Oh yes. Oh yes. Oh yes. Oh yes. Oh yes.
Oh yeah.
Oh yes.
Oh yeah.
Oh yes. Oh yes.
Yes. What's up, what's up, what's up, what's up, what's up? SA, it's your boy Tisco Day. And I'm coming to you with another edition of this particular blog. And today, man, I'm talking about a particular issue, man, that's very important and that's very powerful and is currently going on, man. And I just want to tell you guys today, gents, yo, mpumeskela bafethu ngithi ngena la race abantu bangitshela ukuthi nginokuthi gas jo bathi nginokustrike ngathi bengibonywa jo I understand you don't understand jo, it's getting rough, you understand. And I just thought I'd just cover the topic a bit just to try and make sure you guys understand what's going on and just share my opinion. I also want to get your opinions, because I like it when as people we get to engage and get to know what other people's views on the matter are, but basically a strike this year, right? Fees must fall. When it actually came about, I kind of thought about it during the year. I kind of thought it was gonna come, but I didn't really 100% expect it. I didn't really think it was gonna happen, but I thought about it. I was like, it's possible that we might have another fees must fall again, because last year the fees didn't really fall. It was just a 0% increase, and people stopped striking for the sake of exams, when this year came about, I'd just like to say one thing to our Minister of Education or our Minister of Higher Education. Play out lane. You don't listen. Chief, you have a problem. You have a problem. I'd like to tell you, in my EFF accent. Check this out, man. If you guys haven't checked this out or you guys haven't seen this already, for those of you that don't know, students basically have started striking again, and it's become a national strike again. Everybody from most of the institutions are closed, are closed down because of the current strikes that are going on. And basically the strike happened because the students clearly said last year, in their mandate, that there should be a plan for free education that is come up with by the government, as opposed to that they said, okay, we're going to accept the 0% fee increment. But what we are expecting from you guys is a plan to say that is free education feasible, and free education being feasible, how are you guys going to achieve it, and what plans are you going to put in place to make sure that happens. And our so wise minister, in inverted commas, decides that, okay, what I'm going to do this year is because the students, the student leaders clearly told him, guy, no fee increments in 2016. Any fee increments will result in a strike. And as stubbornness, he decides, no, I'm going to pick out students. So I'm going to decide that, okay, those under 600,000, you guys don't pay any fee increment the next year. But the guys above 600,000, you guys pay a fee increment. And I looked at this guy and I was like, I don't understand how you've stayed in politics for so long, not understanding the fact that they said no fee increment. And I thought about that and I was like, how silly is this guy to try and do that? Because he is the reason that we are actually having so many strikes right now. He is the reason. You sit down and you're like, my guy, didn't you not take the students seriously last year when they shut down all the institutions? They shut them down because they were trying to tell you that they want the fees to go down. And you are telling them that I'm going to increase for a certain group of people, and for a certain group of people I'm not going to increase. And that's clearly a sign that you are not listening to the students. They are saying to you that they don't want to ever hear anything about an increase. The only thing they want to hear is a decrease. So the only thing they ever want to hear in future is you saying, okay, either the fee has stayed constant or we are planning to decrease. Because the main idea and the main thing that he doesn't understand, and Blade, if you're watching, I hope you understand this one day, is the fact that if you're going to increase it for one group this year, next year is going to be another group. And clearly, since you're still increasing the fees, you still haven't heard the cry of the students that's saying that the fees are already too high. You need to decrease them. So basically, that's what has caused so many riots and the thing to come back. And basically now it's become even a power struggle. I've been looking at it and I was like, it's really now a real power struggle of, the students are now saying, look, we want free education now, and that's not what they were saying. They were saying we want a plan, and the Free Education Commission, I was actually watching one of their videos and they were talking about how feasible free education is, and they were saying there's nothing such as 100% free education, of course, right? And the students know that. You gotta understand. In this situation, you are dealing with university students. You're not dealing with dumb people. The university students know that there's nothing like 100% free education system. Obviously, there's going to be graduated ways of charging the system and whatever. But also, students understand politics. And that's the thing that Blades Zimande still underestimates the young people of this nation. He still underestimates their intelligence to say, look, we're going to go for the extreme, knowing that we're going to meet on a middle ground at some point. But anyone in politics and anyone in government will tell you that when you go into the bargaining situation, or trade unions when they're striking or whatever, they go for the extreme. If they're saying they want an increase in a salary, they go for the extreme, and then they come up with a middle ground. And that's exactly what the students are doing now. They're saying, okay, free education now. And that's what everybody in the nation is fighting them over. Like, no, free education now, that can't happen and whatever. They know that. It's not that they don't know that. But their main idea is to say we're going to go for the extreme, knowing that we're going to come back with a proper middle ground. And, for me, I'm looking at it right now and I'm thinking, I don't know when the strikes are going to end, man. Because I've been sitting at home thinking about it. Like right now, UP is closed. I know VETS is also closed, and a number of institutions are closed, like till the 10th. And I'm realizing that most of the vice chancellors are also not showing wisdom, in the sense that also, when you listen to what the Free Education Commission of Inquiry was talking about, was the fact that the reason the country is where it is because the vice chancellors have also been a bit complacent in dealing with the matter. So they've sat back and let government, relax in terms of funding and all those things over the years, instead of actually coming to them and actually telling them from the beginning that you guys need to start increasing, the amount of funding you guys are bringing into the various institutions. You guys need to start making sure that, basically. They're also saying they're being complacent with the administrative staff that they had. They have a lot of administrative staff, some of them that are not really necessary, So basically, there's a lot of matters that come into play with the free education thing going along. And also, that's why I was also saying that it's going to affect a lot of people. And that's why I don't understand anyone that says that they're not going to join into the strike, because it's not only going to affect your parents, it's not only going to affect students, it's also going to affect basically those in primary schools, those in high schools, and those in colleges. I was listening to them talking about the fact that if they're going to give free education to university students, the next better plan is to tighten up colleges. So basically they're going to limit the number of people that go to university, and then from limiting the number of people that go to university, they force majority of the people to go to college. So basically the next better alternative for those that are in college, if they're not joining us in this struggle, you must know that the fee is going to go to you guys. They're going to give us free education, and then they're going to bring the fee to you guys to say, okay, now you guys must pay. And since you are not here, it's okay. We are not going to say anything because you guys are also not saying anything. And also, like, if you're studying also what they're talking about, I hear a lot of people complaining and saying that, free education, who's going to pay for it? How is this going to be funded and all of that? And I also say to people that, like, people need to understand that anything has positives and negatives. Anything in the world, any decision that is taken, even decisions that you take in your life have positives and negatives. So, say per se, today they decide to take a decision to say free education or not free education. The decision shouldn't be taken on which country has done it before, or which country has succeeded in doing it before, or which country, that's not how the decision needs to be taken. And if it's taken like that, it means that we're dealing with not so intelligent politicians or not so intelligent people. Because if you study economics, basically that we study marginal benefit over marginal cost. So basically we sit down, look at our country, and then see that, okay, how much will this benefit us over what it costs us? So if education costs us, for example, 40 billion, right? How much are we going to benefit? Are we going to benefit 60 billion? Are we going to benefit 70 billion? Are we going to benefit 80 billion, 100 billion from that particular investment? And that's one of the things that I think that they need to look at. And I think the government needs to start realizing that the students are actually serious about this, and they're actually not playing around with it. I think government has kind of taken it. Last year it was like a pat on the back. Okay, we'll give you a 0%, now go back to class. And I think this year now it's starting to sink in that, oh, you guys are serious, But at the same time, not to just sit on the side of the students, I'll also say that I feel like the student leaders haven't been strong enough in dealing with students, in the sense that, I know I saw it that some students, there were rubber bullets fired at some point. Students got burned. There were petrol bombs that were found. Same thing at UP today. We found that there were some petrol bombs thrown at cars. It's like a various amount of things that are happening. People have bent down buildings, and you sit down and you're like, yo, man, like, if you burn down the building that you're gonna study in, and you're saying that these people must find money to try and educate you, you gotta understand that some of those funds will need to be redirected to rebuild the building that you decided to destroy. So you decided to be foolish with it. And you're now defeating the whole point of the struggle. The whole point of what is being done is to say it's a peaceful march. It's a march of educated people. Let's not, because I always tell people the history of this country is a history of unskilled labor, a history of, I wouldn't say a not smart population, but an uneducated population. So they've tried to keep black people down over the years by making sure that they get as little education as possible. And we all know, even what happened in Libya, that the people that overthrew the government, or majority of those people, came from people that had very little education. So you gotta understand the fact that very little education equals actions that don't show wisdom and understanding. And I feel like if you're a university student, you should show the fact that you're a university student. You're the top 5% of the country. You're one of the most educated people that are there. You're the top 5%. So if you're the top 5%, act like you're top 5%. So people that act like they're top 5% don't go around burning things. Don't go around destroying things. Don't go around destroying buildings that they know very well that if I destroy this building, where am I going to come back and study? Even if you're saying you're doing it in self-defense, you're not really doing it in self-defense, because you cannot defend yourself by burning a building. It doesn't make sense. When you bring a petrol bomb to campus, you're already doing something that is defeating the whole end of what is going on. Because automatically you bring petrol bombs, the police will see one thing burning, okay, and they don't care anymore, okay. They are shooting at everybody, because the government. You must remember, you're fighting the government. You're not fighting. You're not fighting. It's like you're fighting the boss of the country. You gotta understand. These people come also with a mandate of, look, the slightest amount of violence that comes up, the slightest amount of burning of buildings that comes out, is an excuse for us to stop this thing, okay? If you look at most of the vice chancellors, they found this as an excuse to stop the strike. Do you understand? To tell people to go home. You can't stay at school anymore. You can't stay at school anymore. Why? Because they saw this as an opportunity to say, this is a way for us to shut them down. We shut them down by saying that you guys are violent, you guys are not doing the right thing. So I also feel that, for those students that do feel that they need to burn stuff and do all sorts of things that are wrong to get this to work, you guys are defeating the whole end of the struggle, and the whole end of free education coming about. You guys are making it not possible. And just to say that the fact that free education is feasible within this country, the only big problem that's there is how the money is redirected, and how the government will find the money to not find the money. How will they redirect the funds? Because you can't just shock the system and say, okay, today I'm taking money from this, I'm taking money from that, I'm taking money from that, and I'm sending it to education. So this is why the students are saying, if you listen to most of the students, they're not saying they really want free education right now. They're saying they want a plan that they can hold the government to. So they want a plan that they can hold the government to say, okay, this year you've gone thus far with the plan for education, free education, and the next year you've gone thus far, and then the following year you've gone thus far. So if they don't come up with a clear plan, I don't feel like we're going to go back to class. And that worries me, because I want to go back to class. And it's one of those things that you sit down and you realize and you're like, I don't know who to blame, but I can never really blame the student leaders, because I feel like they feel like they're not being listened to. And even I as a student feel like the government doesn't listen. I feel like they don't listen when they're being told with some things. Blade, you don't listen. I don't understand where you learned your politics, my guy. If people tell you that the slightest amount of this that you do, you're going to have a problem, you must just take it like that. You're going to have a problem. And basically, man, I also want to hear your comments, man. I want to hear what your thoughts on the strike are, man. Is it valid? Is it right? Is it proper for the students to be striking? Do you feel like free education is actually feasible in this country or not? Like I said, I don't feel like it's a debate about the country in itself. I feel like South Africa can afford but the real problem is the marginal benefit over the marginal cost. And you also got to remember that free education has its own benefits, one of which is investments flowing into the country. Like if I, as an investor coming from Germany, for example, I want to invest in Africa, the first question I got to ask myself is, okay, if I invest in Kenya today, right, or in Nigeria today, I still need to pay for a student to go through university education, go through high school, go through all these things, and then I need to spend my own money sometimes to try and make sure that I get the necessary skilled labor that I need. But if there's a country in Africa where I know that, I can get skilled labor in this place for free, actually, where do you think I'll choose to invest? It's a no-brainer. I'm going to invest in the country whereby I can get skilled labor for free. And it's one of those things whereby I sit down and I'm like, this thing is all about and that creates jobs in the process. So you gotta sit down and then study the system and be like, is free education really a negative? Is free education really something you must look at from an expense of money, or is it really an expense that you look at, this is the expense, but what am I going to benefit? And yeah, man, definitely subscribe, and if you like the video, and definitely like the video, just like it, depending on how you feel about it. But anyway, I really want to hear your opinions, man. I really want to hear what other people think. I really want to hear how other people view this track. I really want to hear what are your opinions, about it. Awesome, man.
Oh yes, oh yes, oh yes, oh yes, oh yes,
Oh yeah,
oh yes,
oh yeah.
oh yes, oh yes.